Next question comes from Wild Wisdom on YouTube. How do you sanitize the keg before filling it with beer? A question that was dropped into one of my questions, one of my videos on keg filling, showing the keg washer. So just a quick rundown on this, folks. You do need a situation where when you are cleaning kegs, if you are cleaning them closed, so not pulling the spear out and you're cleaning them closed, you do need to evacuate all of the CO2 out of that tank, out of that keg, rinse the spear, and then push your chemical, whether you are cleaning with caustic and or with acid. You want to run those chemicals on them, get them fully rinsed and evacuated. And then you want that, you're going to want now that keg purged, right? And so usually at this part, after it is cleaned and rinsed, the gas will switch from compressed air to typically CO2. And so you're then going to get your sanitizer into the keg if you are not steam sanitizing or sterilizing. I'm just going to address the chemical side because that's what it seems like we're talking about right here. You want to make sure that you are getting your sanitizer mixed at an appropriate rate to be non-rinse. You want to get that into every surface, whether it be the spear, the full interior of the shell, and circulating for the recommended amount of time that is recommended for contact time with that sanitizer. You want to fully evacuate it out of your keg with CO2. Some of the things that I like to do. So to answer the question, you run a sanitizing cycle typically on your keg washer. If you're doing this at home, you would probably have to fill it with sanitizer, or if you don't have some sort of homebrew rig for getting sanitizer on the inside of that, packing it with sanitizer, resealing it, and then maybe pushing it out completely with CO2, leaving it all sealed. That's a good way to go too. But big picture, after it's cleaned and appropriately rinsed, you need to hit it with appropriate concentration at the appropriate temperature for the appropriate amount of time with that sanitizer, and then fully evacuate it with CO2. Purge it very, very well with CO2. And then try to make sure that before you fill it, that you're double checking. Sometimes I used to like to take the blow a little head pressure off of a keg. So I would take a coupler, and it has the gas end and the liquid end pointing straight up on the coupler and the gas end. I would cap up the gas end, and I would have a valve, a little twisty valve screwed in on top of the coupler. I'll put it on the keg I'm about to fill, compress it, put my hand under it, open the valve real quick. And sometimes it would kick a little bit of final sanitizer out, and then you can close it so you still have pressure in that keg. It's also a good way of making sure that your keg's not leaking, as well as getting out any maybe little residual sanitizer in there. So that's some of the ways that you would approach that on the pro side and the home side. So give some of that stuff a shot. Appreciate your question, Wild Wisdom.